Okay, class, yesterday I had given you a homework assignment for you to go home and then to give me a plot summary of both the Kite Runner and the Slumdog Millionaire. Can I have someone tell me a little bit more about the Kite Runner? Yes, Rico?
For the Kite Runner, I wrote down the book opens up with two boys playing kites. Hassan is a servant, while Amir comes from a wealthy family.
Very good, Enrico. So we know that Amir and Hassan are playing kites. Amir comes from a wealthy family. While Hassan is a servant. Can you elaborate more on this, Enrico?
Oh, bullies one day ask Hassan to give up the kite that Amir won in the kite competition. He refuses, causing him to get raped.
So, the bully that you mentioned, his name is actually Asef. So, Asef and his friends threaten Amir and Hassan. And we know that he later gets raped by Asef. What happens next, Enrico?
Amir feels shame and frames Hassan for stealing his watch, and then his dad Ali and Hassan leave. Amir feels shame because he witnessed what Hassan did for him and did nothing, then frames Hassan for stealing the watch he received from his dad on his birthday. Baba, Amir's dad, confronts both Hassan and his father Ali. Although Hassan did not steal the watch, he admits he did, but Baba forgives him. But Ali refuses to stay and continue working for Baba and leaves with his son Hassan.
Very good, Enrico. So, out of shame, Amir frames Hassan for stealing his birthday watch. He admits and causes for him and his dad to leave. So all of these childhood flashbacks occur while he was in Afghanistan, and then Baba's friend calls him and tells him what?
In present day, Amir receives a call from Rahim Kain telling him to come back to Pakistan because there's a way to be good again.
That's right. So they both grow up, and Amir ends up going to America. So while Amir lives in America, he receives a call from Rahim Kahan telling him there's a chance to be good again. Now we're almost at the end of the book, and so we find out that Amir does what after this?
Amir returns home to fight and realizes he should have stuck with his friend Hassan.
Yes, that's right. So Amir returns home and reunites with Hassan. He realizes he should have not let his guilt and shame take over him. Now, can I have someone explain to me more about the Slumdog Millionaire?
So in the Slumdog Millionaire, I wrote that Jamal is playing a trivia that's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes, so as the film opens up, we can see that our main character, Jamal, is playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who wants to be a millionaire? And what happens after this?
Nobody thinks that somebody that comes from the lowest class could know what he knows. So they accuse Jamal of cheating.
That's right, Jamal gets accused of cheating. He gets accused of cheating. The policeman beat him because they assume that he could not have that type of knowledge. What do we know after this?
Well, Jamal's flashbacks show how his foundation of wisdom came to be.
That's correct. So he remembers a timeline of flashbacks that portray a foundation of his now to be wisdom. So this narrative is enriched by his experiences with his brother Salim and his unlikely romance with Atika. So the narrative is enriched by his experiences with Salim and his unlikely romance with Latika. have someone tell me the main difference between these two literature texts?
So, what I wrote for the difference is that the film The Slumdog Millionaire is more like a romance, while the book Kite Runner is a connection of friendship and brotherhood.
Right, so in conclusion, we can say that the connection between the main character and the supporting characters, one is based on friendship slash brotherhood, and in the Slumdog Millionaire is based on romance. Now that we compared both the book and the film, we can also say that these texts share some similarities. Can I have someone give me some examples of this?
So basically, what I wrote down is what they have in common is that both demonstrate how the character's social class background affects their life. Terrorism and invasion is also a key factor, and based on flashbacks coming to age.
They both show how their childhood experiences enable their development to become wise men. In both stories, we can see how terrorism and social class differences contribute to their poor decisions. Both literacy texts convey a theme of coming to age. So we're gonna put here theme of coming to age, terrorism, and social class differences. Now that we analyze both storylines, your in-class assignment is to give me examples of some literacy conflicts that demonstrate a man versus man, a man versus self, a man versus nature, and a man versus society. You should be able to give me one example from the Kite Runner and another example from the film. Okay, class, we only have like 5 more minutes left of class. Can someone go ahead and give me an example of man versus man in the Kite Runner?
For the Kite Runner, I put Asef versus Amir and Hassan. And then for the Slumdog Millionaire, I put Jamal versus the police.
Amir slash Hassan versus Asef. Over here we have Jamal versus the policeman. That's right. So when Asef threatens Amir, Hassan is the one that defends him. So yes, that's an example of man versus man. And then when they think that Jamal's cheating, we have the policeman attacking him. And now can I have a man versus self?
For man versus self for the Kite Runner, I wrote Amir versus guilt.
Okay, Amir versus guilt.
And for the Slumdog Millionaire, I wrote Salim versus cowardice.
Salim versus cowardice. Those are great examples. So we know that Amir has a buildup of guilt for not defending Hassan when he was getting raped, and then that's true. Salim never told the truth And now can I have someone else tell me an example of man versus nature?
For Kite Runner, I wrote Baba slash Hassan versus war.
Okay. Baba slash what?
Hassan
Okay.
versus war.
Versus war. Okay.
And for Slumdog Millionaire, I wrote Jamal versus poor conditions.
Versus poor conditions. Great. So, the Soviet Union does invade the Afghanistan. So yes, we can put Baba slash Hassan versus the war. In the Slumdog Millionaire, Jamal does live in very poor conditions. So he's continuously trying to survive. Lastly, can someone give me an example of man versus society?
For the Kite Runner, I wrote Hassan versus his cultural background, the Hazara.
Versus his cultural background? His ethnicity is a Hazara. And for the Slumdog Millionaire?
I wrote Muslims versus discrimination.
Those are great examples. So, in Afghanistan, the Hazaras are an inferior culture. So, we can see how Hassan gets bullied by Asif. So, we can put Hassan versus culture background. And then in India, Muslims are also seen as inferior. Okay, class, so today we were able to see how the Kite Runner and the Slumdog represent the theme of coming to age, and how both texts have literacy conflicts. And I hope to see you guys next class. Thank you.